Health is real, seek help, and the stigma. On the news this evening, RISIEC promises fair play as Rivers people gear up for Saturday council polls. Election materials roll out as RISIEC ad hoc staff head to LGAs. Security agencies stage show of force to reassure Rivers voters. Man crushed to death on a polo axis of East-West Road. On the foreign scene, U.S. denies visas for Palestinian officials before UN assembly. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after the break.
When
As Rivers people finally head to the polls on Saturday, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, says it has put measures in place to ensure that every vote counts. The chairman of the commission, Michael Ode, gave the assurance in an interview with correspondent Suebi Oruwari. Ode said the RISIEC will be impartial in the performance of its duty, and the commission has ensured that the process aligns with RISIEC laws.
Over the past month, RISIEC has worked tirelessly to ensure that every aspect of the electoral process is meticulously planned and executed in line with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended and the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission law as amended. I assure you that RISIEC will remain impartial, transparent, and professional in discharging its mandate. We have put mechanisms in place to ensure that every vote counts and that the results declared reflect the genuine will of the people of Rivers State.
Dr. Ode urged voters to exercise their civic rights to demonstrate the strength of democracy.
These elections represent not only a constitutional requirement, but also a civic duty and a sacred trust that defines our collective destiny. The illegitimacy of government begins with your vote. I therefore urge you to come out early in an orderly manner with your permanent voters' cards to exercise your vote.
The RISIEC chairman also appealed to political actors to conduct themselves peacefully during Saturday's local government election.
Let us remember that elections are not a do-or-die affair, but a contest of ideas and a process to strengthen our unity and development. Let us therefore rise above divisions and ensure that tomorrow is marked by peace, fairness, and civic pride. Appeal to all political actors, candidates, and their supporters to conduct themselves peacefully and in accordance with the law. The power to choose belongs solely to the electorate, and no one must attempt to subvert that will through violence or intimidation.
And while the commission is assuring voters of fairness, preparations are also in top gear. The Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, has sent out sensitive materials and non-sensitive materials for Saturday's local government elections. Correspondent Suebi Oruwari reports that ad hoc workers who have been cleared are also heading to the local government areas where they will work. At the RISIEC office on Aba Road, Port Harcourt, there's a lot of activity, less than 24 hours to the conduct of the local government area elections in the state. This is as ad hoc workers check their names and find out where they will be serving as presiding officers and supervising presiding officers for the elections. Beyond the materials and workers, attention is also on how results will be announced. The chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, Dr. Michael Ode, says winners of the August 30th local government elections will only be declared at the commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt. Ode, speaking at the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security briefing, explained that returning officers at local government collation centers are only authorized to announce votes, not declare winners. He said the declaration of winners follows specific criteria, which will be handled strictly at the RISEC headquarters.
The last stage of training of local government returning officers, wherein we emphasize the fact that all calculations must be precise, all due processes must be followed. The votes, and this is very important, will be announced at those centers, but they will not do declaration. The essence of that is what we call a margin of lead principle. For a chairman to be deemed duly elected, he must satisfy certain condition precedent.
And as the RISEC sets the rules, civil society is reminding them of their responsibility. The Rivers Peace Initiative coordinator, Obinna Egbogidi, has urged the Commission to be transparent and professional in tomorrow's local government election across all 23 councils. He explained that the elections are important for the state and stressed the role of all key stakeholders in ensuring a successful vote. Egbogidi also called on security agencies to enforce the law fairly and remain impartial, advise political leaders to put the state's interests first, and encourage voters to come out in large numbers to exercise their rights and protect the election process. Meanwhile, community leaders are also adding their voice. The leadership of Igbo community in Rivers State have called on its members living and doing business in the state to participate in tomorrow's local government elections. The Ezendi Igbo in charge of Rivers State, Sam Chinedu, made the call during a press briefing in Port Harcourt. He said the Igbo community is happy with the existing peace in Rivers State.
On behalf of the head of non-indigenous in Rivers State, Chief Dr. Sam Chinedu, we are urging all non-indigenous to participate in the election and go out and exercise their franchise in tomorrow's election.
Ezewakolo further appealed to the Igbos to dismiss calls for the boycott of Saturday's local government polls.
We, the non-indigenous, are part of the peace process in River State. And this peace that has come, we say it has come to stay. They should disregard any information saying that the non-indigenous should not be part of the election. River State is peaceful, we are peaceful people, and we are part of the election.
Also, the chairman of the South-South Development Commission, Chibudom Uche, is calling on Rivers people to come out en masse and participate actively in the exercise. Uche, in an interview, expressed confidence that the polls will be free, fair, and credible.
The elections were ordered by relevant amendment to the abridging the time within which they should be held in view of the emergency rule in Rivers State. Therefore, as far as the law is concerned, the election are in order and proper. The process is legitimate. The elections will be held tomorrow, and by its grace, they will be free and fair.
Which also commended the judiciary for dismissing an ex parte order that sought to halt the electoral process. According to him, the decision reaffirms that the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man.
Well, the judiciary has always risen to the occasion and is the last hope of the common man. The judgment is totally in odds because the elections holding tomorrow will be free and fair. The issue is that the judiciary, they aren't in politics. Yes, theirs is to interpret the laws, and they've done so. The elections are in order.
Now, backing words with action, security operatives have been out on the streets reassuring residents of their safety. The exercise, which took off from the River State Police Command headquarters on Moscow Road, Port Harcourt, featured a convoy of patrol vehicles from the Nigeria Police Force, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC), and other allied agencies. The joint team moved through major streets in Port Harcourt and Obiabo local government area, displaying operational readiness to maintain peace and order before, during, and after the polls. Still ahead, on the news, education, power supply, and tragic accident here in River State. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, says the most recent signed and binding agreement between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, remains the 2009 agreement. The minister's clarification was contained in a statement issued today, Friday, in Abuja by the Director of Press and Public Relations in the Ministry, Folashade Bariowo. Bariowo explained that the minister's remark during an interaction with journalists on Thursday was misinterpreted. She recalled that in 2017, the then Minister of Education, Adamu, inaugurated a renegotiation committee to review the 2009 agreement. The process led to the drafting of the Nimi-Briggs Agreement in May 2021. She said the 2021 draft agreement was not signed by the federal government. And while students wait for clarity, residents here in River State have been battling another kind of frustration, blackout. Wondering why some parts of River State have been without electricity, the Southeast Deputy Secretary General of the Senior Staff Association of Electricity and Allied Company, Innocent Lord Douglas, says the outage was caused by low energy supply to the distribution company. He spoke to correspondent Soibi Ruwari.
There was a down in energy from transmission as at yesterday. Much later yesterday, some started coming up. But despite that, there are still areas that are having pockets of issues. Like in that NTA area is having pockets of issues along Rumolumen area. In the area in total blackout. There are also people that are having relay issue. East West Road is a Bank A feeder. They are having a relay issue.
Lord Douglas has now assured that those affected should expect a gradual return of power supply soon, as efforts are being made to restore electricity to the affected areas.
The one at Obrikwere, I personally went there and I saw that people are walking. More of our Bakri area is being patrolled. The one in Rumolumeni is also being walked. PHED, which is immediate where we are now, they don't have enough of what sustains them. So what they do is make do of what they have and juggle. Give Bank A, give B, and you know that D and C can have a little.
And moving from power to tragedy, a middle-aged man was crushed to death by a truck today on the Nkbolu axis of the East-West Road. Eyewitnesses told correspondent Rejoice Amadi that the man who was on his way to the mosque was first hit by a private car while trying to cross the road. As the driver tried to help him, a speeding truck ran over the man, killing him instantly.
If or not die, if not the man, if not the man fall. So jeep can stop me. So the man hold on. The driver and the So this motor they come for the back of this one. This one with this motor, the man for no time. The man to walk from 90 and hit and the jeep stop. 90 straight and from the back. Because the man can't come from motor time motor. You carry the person. If you don't leave him, if not, if for 50 or 10.
The police arrive at the scene to manage the situation, and the body has since been taken away for burial. Meanwhile, in the health sector, authorities are also cracking down hard on malpractice in a bid to tackle quackery and